Hi you guys, it's Lisa. Thanks for joining me at my channel. I wanted to make this traveler's journal for you with the leftover paper pad that we had from our first online class. So I wanted to get started, and a few things that I used obviously was the travel journal from Graphic 45, and I had a ruler, I used my paper pad, and I was just going through to see what things I could cut out and put in this traveler's journal. I will have all of the measurements for you, and some things like this octopus I cut out and made sure I didn't use because I may use it in a big mixed media project in the future. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make sure that I could get the most out of my paper pad, and I will show you all of the um, measurements and get started here for you. I hope you enjoy it. I like to make these travel journals a lot, and I do have a video coming out with a farmhouse one that I did, and that paper collection is from Graphic 45. It turned out super cute. So I know I'm going to do more of these. Um, it's up to you if you want to watch them or not. So the front panel, I chose this wood grain paper, and I'm using my corner punch on most of these pages, I'm sorry. And hold on. So the front panel is 4.5 inches by 8.5 inches. So you need one obviously for the front and one for the back. Then we have, I'm making a little dot in that paper, and I'm cutting it out with my hole punch before I put it down, because the little string that goes around the traveler's journal will go through there. This back panel is 1.25 inches by 7.25 inches, and obviously you only need one of those back panels, or side panels, I guess it would be an edge. Now here I cut out that lady's head again, and I'm using that for my front cover. And here I'm using some cheesecloth and my vintage photo distress ink with a finger dauber, and I'm going around all the pieces that I cut out to make it finished edges, and also I put it on that cheesecloth there so that it gives it that dirty vintage rustic look. Now I had a pack there you saw quickly of some cutouts of gears, and I just got that stuff out, and I thought it might work for giving this background a little bit of dimension, because I didn't want that lady to blend in with the background so you really couldn't see her. So here I'm tucking in the cheesecloth around the back, and these gears are cut out from old wallpaper scraps that I had, and I can let you know the dye that I use. It's by Tim Holtz, and I think that looks super cool behind there, and I'm just going to put a glue dot there to hold everything down so that cheesecloth doesn't keep coming up and getting caught on things. So I'm using a bunch of those glue dots. They work real cool for this project. And here I had some foam that I had from when I got a cell phone, and of course I saved it because I'm a freak, saving all my stuff. And I'm just putting some liquid glue behind this lady's head, and I'm putting that foam on the back to add some dimension to the lady's head so that it will stick up off of the front cover. And the detail of this looks really great, adds that great dimension. And I'm just adding some more foam and cutting it off with my scissors using some liquid glue and putting everything down. Here I'm using my tape runner and I am adhering those gears just flat. And that also holds down that cheesecloth in the background. So works really well. Putting that lady's head down, and look at that great dimension for the cover. And then while I work on the inside journals, I have this sitting behind me and I have a book on it so it adheres real nice and flat. And I will go ahead and put that scuba diver on the back panel, and I think it already is looking really neat. And I did use the foam on the back there also. I was thinking if I wanted to put some of this ripped paper there, but using one of the gears, I think it worked out just fine. Yeah, I really like how that looks. These travel journals are really fun, and once you get started, I would suggest having a great big huge table to work on, because you have this scrap and you have that scrap and you're using your vintage photo to go around all the pieces, and then you forget to go around a piece, then you got to dig it out. So get a great big huge work surface to work on these travel journals is my suggestion. It is, like I said, super fun and takes a bit of time, but the rewards are definitely worth it. You'll see some still shots on the last portion of this video, and my girlfriend was checking it out and she was like, it is absolutely amazing and so much fun. So I'll go ahead and I put down that gear on the top there, and I'm adhering the scuba diver with the liquid glue. And I'm using Nouveau liquid glue. I think right here I'm using up some Gina K Connect liquid glue. Both are really great products. And use what you have, of course. I always say that. Use what you have, because it's so great to be able to dig that stuff out of your stash and go ahead and use it. So here's the inside, and I'm using that corner rounder, and I'm not going to worry about that little bit of the edge coming off there because I'm adding some more of that pattern paper, and you're going to need 6 of these panels because there's 3 of those little notebooks in there. You need a front and a back for each one, and those are going to be 4 1/4 by 6. Those are the measurements for the front of the little workbooks that we have that go inside of the traveler's journal. And I used my distress ink and went all the way around, and now I'm just deciding how I want to go and adhering that to the front and back, and adding little details, little strips of pattern paper that makes it look really cool. This one is awesome. I'm just going ahead and putting it down, and it's just the rivets, is that what it is called? The metal pieces that are on probably a ship. And just use your imagination. Just get crazy. There's so many neat things in this pattern pad from Stamperia that the ideas are just endless. And you'll see as we get going here that I just keep cutting out different elements from the pattern pad and just keep going and going and going. So here's some little portholes I cut out, and I'm just going to go and finish the front and back. So here's the front and back, how I liked it. And see, I've got some more of that. I love this paper. And so now we're going to do the insides. So these inside pieces are 4 by 8, and you can see I use a pencil and I draw around that insert pocket, and you'll see how cool this is. You go ahead and cut that out with your scissors, and that is going to be the outside flap, and the other one is going to be the inside portion of the flap. And you're going to need 6 of these. So you can, use the insides and the outsides and go right ahead with that, and it works out really, really great. So go ahead through your paper pad and check out what you like. So the inside and the outside, see how cool? And I'm using my distress ink, going around the edges. It really does make a difference, trust me, because sometimes I would forget to do that, and I could really tell that I didn't do it. So I'm using my corner punch for any corner that was rounded, and that's something that I did. You didn't have to do that, but it really does give it a finishing touch. So there's the outside pocket, and then I'm going to put a piece for the inside pocket. See there? How cool, huh? And then I rounded the edges, used my distress ink, went around the sides, and I did this for all of the insides and the outside pockets on those little workbooks. One workbook is a checked grid pattern, one is mixed media paper, and the other one is lined. So really super great paper, and I definitely will like using this traveler's journal. If I don't sell it, I might just go ahead and sell it because I like making them and people really like them. So I might just keep going and keep making and keep doing. They're really, really cute and very fun to make. So go ahead and make all of those inside and outside parts, and we'll get back to you here. Here they're all done. Insides, backs. Look at how cool that is, huh? Very cool. And they're all done. Neat. Now the fun part, getting to decorate all of this. I think maybe I worked on the inside cover. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Sorry about that. I wasn't sure where I went next. So the inside of the cover, I wanted to put some pattern paper in there, of course, and we need one for the front, one for the back, and I rounded the corners, and the top portion there that I'm working on is 4 1/4 by 6, and of course you need 2 of those, and then we have the pockets down in the bottom. So the bottom one's 4 1/4 by 3 1/4, and you saw how I stuck that pattern paper in there in the pocket, and I used my pencil to go around that little cutout there, and I cut it out with my scissors. So works really cool, and you can leave the top of that not adhered down if you would like, and then that would create another pocket. So lots and lots of things that you can do with this, and you'll see more options if you watch that other one with the farmhouse collection too. Here's a sheet of pattern paper that is all tags. So I wanted to go ahead and cut all of those out, and I wanted to use my vintage photo and go around all the edges. Now here are all of these little details that I cut out from the pattern paper, and they are different seaweed, the seahorse, the lady again. Here's a little saying that says under the sea. I went around all the edges with the distress vintage photo, and here I made some cute little file folders with the pattern paper, and I can give you those measurements too. I just had a template that I used, and I'm writing save on that, so in case I need to give you those measurements, I certainly can. And look at how that front and back is looking super cute. Here's a tag that I slid in that front pocket We've got these workbooks already made and covered. And here I decided that I wanted that little file folder to be inside the notebook. So I'm switching it around a little bit here, you'll see. And you'll see it in the final bit that that's how I did it. So look how darn cute that is. There's a little file folder in there, and I'm going to decorate the insides of those too. And I'm just going through all these scraps, and it takes me a while, but here I'm going to create another little pocket using this pattern paper, and I'm using double-sided tape here, and that works really, really good because you can put that down and leave the top end open or the side, however you want to do it, and then that becomes your pocket. It's looking really good. Make sure you do those edges and go all the way around. Inside and outside too is what I found to be the best. Go inside and outside, and then decorate these little file folders. So stinking cute. They really are. And I started digging out all kinds of stuff. Now, it just doesn't have to be things cut out of the Stamperia paper. Of course, you know, we all have, I have some dyes that is some seaweed and stuff. So I did put a little bit of that die cut of seaweed on this paper, and you'll see it, it's kind of bright orange. It was just a scrap that I had in my stash, and what a great way to use it up, you know. It looks so cute. So here's how that looks. I'm gonna decorate it up. Here's my little bin of stuff. There's some more gears, and I thought that looked really neat. And then I used dimensional foam squares also to give that stuff a little bit of dimension. Here I'm just using a glue stick and putting it down. But you can see why you need a big area to work, because you got stuff everywhere. Neat, huh? Look at how that looks. It turns out really neat. So I'm going to decorate the inside. I'm going to find something. And you just keep going, keep creating, and at the end, it's quite amazing. It really, really is. Turns out neat. So let the creativity fly. Using this piece at the bottom here to add some more interest. And this pattern paper is full of these little details. Here I forgot to use that distress ink around the edges, so I pulled it up real quick and I went back and did it. It makes a big difference, trust me. So I'm going to work on all of those, and I'm going to work on tags to fit inside the pockets and decorate the fronts of those notebooks with all of my goodies. Here's another little edge I thought looked perfect. What did I forget to do? I forgot to put the distress ink on there. I think I'm just realizing it now. Shoot! Yep, I go back and do it though, because like I said, it makes a lot of difference. There, it's just so much fun. So be creative, dig out all your stuff, And what I did is I cut out all those elements and I sat and I put the brown edge around them so that I didn't have to stop each time. And it was really, really fun. So use your glue stick, use some dimensional adhesive, use your adhesive, your dot runner or whatever you need to make it super cool. And I'll show you what it looks like. Here's the front, and I had that explore, a little wood element. So I cut that out. Here's another tag that I could stick in that pocket. Here I added the dimension. I decorated the pocket there. And here I was going to show you how to decorate that pocket. Here I added dimension, and those circles there were on the pattern paper, and it gave me an idea to get out my acrylic paint and add some circles of my own, because it added just a great detail. So here I'm adding some foam squares to the back of the scuba helmet. I think that's what that is. And I'm just showing you how I stuck it on one of those pockets and gave a little bit of dimension. And I'm putting a little seaweed behind it. It looks cool. So here's some that I did. That anchor there looked great hanging down from that pocket. Here I used the under the sea. I was wondering where to put that fish. I never did use the fish, but I put the seahorse there. I thought that gave it some good design to that last pocket there, that last page. And then I'm going to put those, aren't they neat, those file folders in there. And there I had some metal elements. It says you can. There's another pocket there. And this one turned out really cool, I think. Here's a way to do a paper clip. So I used 2 of those dies that were cut out in my stash. I put double-sided adhesive on the backs of each. I pulled off the adhesive and I sandwiched a paper clip in between the 2 dies and lined them up. So that makes a really cool element for your journal there, a paper clip with the little gear on it. You can make as many of those as you'd like. And here are those 2, they're tape from the inside of tape, just circles, cardboard circles. And I wanted to put some of those circles on the background, and here I'm just adding some paint to the edge, and I'm looking for the paper here that I wanted to show you. So look at those, just adding that little circle of paint. How cool that adds the dimension. Oh, and then of course I shut it, so I got paint somewhere in my book. That's okay though, it don't bother me. And then here I had foam squares on the back of this big piece of seaweed, and I thought, ooh, doesn't that look good over the top of that? Oh, just wonderful, wonderful dimension. So have fun. Do this traveler's journal. Use your scraps, and before you know it, that pattern paper is pretty much gone. And if anyone needs more, I do have, I think, 5 more pattern paper pads. It will be on my website, and you can email me. And I'm just adding a little bit more. Look at how great that is. So neat. And I'm just using my raw sienna paint there, the color raw sienna. Adding those little inserts, and look how cute. Stay tuned for the pictures at the end, and thank you for your support, and I hope you liked this little project. Try it out. Let me know what you think. I appreciate you. Oh, and I wanted to put that band back in. So you just put it through the hole there, and then it secures the whole piece. Nice. And here I thought, oh, what could I do to that back? So I dug out one of Sean Petit's stencils. It says, Find Your True North. And I think I'll probably stencil that on the end there. So, yeah, great project. Have fun. Make one or two or three. They're hard to stop once you start. Have a great day, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.